Hello, Santa Barbara and Montecito. My name is Daniel Zia. I'm the founder, CEO, and lead broker associate for Zia Group here at eXp Realty on the Central Coast. And I'm going to be delivering you our real estate market update for South Santa Barbara County. This is our April 2025 market update, which goes over all of our stats for March as well as year to date up to this time that we have. And the market is really interesting. We're in kind of a fascinating point in history. We've got everything that's happening politically and economic on a large scale. Really, regardless of what your political view is, it is a grand experiment. And we're going to see how it actually affects our real estate market long term, how it affects our national economy long term. But it is a grand experiment, and that because there is so much experiential going on a large national and global scale, it is creating on one segment of our market and for some of our buyers and sellers some uncertainty that's causing inaction and just this feeling of paralysis without much going on. On the other segment of the market, and for many of our buyers and sellers, they're still seeing opportunities, and their personal goals and preferences are inclining them to still make some purchase decisions or some sale decisions. And the activity and what's happening in their market is really dramatic. So let's talk about prices first and foremost. The prices at the real estate values, if you look at the market data, the statistics, it looks like they have gone through the roof. I mean, literally, the median sales price right now is listed at $2.8 million, which is 29% higher than it was last year, and it is a full $600,000 higher than at any point it's been in the history of Santa Barbara real estate. The average sold price has climbed 22%, hitting a record of $4.1 million. And so you have this data, and you're like, wow, real estate prices must be blowing up. And on one hand, maybe for some segments of the properties, we have seen price appreciation. But I think really what's going on here, if you look at the true circumstances, is you have this wave of luxury sales activity that has hit our market. A lot of it, in large part, by that migration that we predicted from the Palisades and the other LA fires. Those buyers have come up and they have made purchase decisions, and it's dramatically influenced the luxury side of our market. To put this in context, we had 19 sales just in the month of March over $5 million. That is a massive number of sales for that luxury segment of the market. We've seen Hope Ranch, for example, which was kind of this like sleepy little community last year with very few luxury sales, especially on the higher end. And we've seen some big sales activity happening. And even outside of Hope Ranch on Sea Ranch, I mean, literally, this is a neighborhood that most often sees prices in the ranges of 4, 5, 7, 9. The record-breaking sales price in March was actually on Sea Ranch, 845 Sea Ranch, a beautiful modern contemporary, don't get me wrong, but it sold for $23 million. I mean, I personally thought the property was a little bit overpriced. I think someone paid a premium for it, but we are seeing that in a market, people that like a property, they have a firm catalyst to buy. They don't want to wait any longer, and they just pull the trigger and buy something. So that's a good example of that luxury activity. But when you have just that much luxury activity, you start not just seeing the median sales price go up, but you start to see, the average sales price, but you also see that median sales price start to go up there too, which is it's kind of skewing the market. Now, when you think about the affordable market and you actually like the pulse on the ground, one of the things that we do really well at Zia Group is we just love helping people, and we have the privilege of we've helped more people buy and sell homes than any agent or any team in any brokerage in the greater Santa Barbara area over the last 5 years. And so it's really interesting. We have this kind of like this inside pulse on the market that is that's very different than most people. There's no other way to slice it. It's very different than most people, and it gives us this like feeling on the market of what's truly going on. And what's truly going on is when we're seeing regular negotiations and more of the affordable side of the market, you know, that $1 million, that $1.5 million, the $2 million, that $2.5 million property, we're not seeing that sales price is 20-something% higher than last year. We're not seeing that reflected. In fact, we are still seeing some specific examples of properties that sold more 1, 2, 3 years ago that are actually selling for less now, or on the market with a current asking price less than what they sold for 1, 2, 3 years ago and are not selling. And so we just want to make sure that you're not looking at, that we're not sharing, you know, there's maybe some people out there that are sharing these exciting statistics, but are going to give you a misleading view. So it's not, hey, you bought a $2 million home last year, your property's now worth $2.4 million. We're not seeing that. We're actually seeing that market feels very steady. Some properties are selling more for what they did 1, 2, 3 years ago. Some are selling less for 1, 2, 3 years ago. So you got kind of both sides of the perspective there. If you're working with a luxury buyer or seller, or you are a luxury buyer or seller, that segment of the market is very active. It is a great time to be a luxury seller because we're seeing some sales prices that I think are very generous for sellers. Some properties that even been on the market and maybe a little bit overpriced, we're seeing buyers fall in love and just decide to pull the trigger and still move. And we're seeing that reflected in the market statistics. Usually we see a much greater reduction off of the current and the original asking price. But on the luxury side of the market, we're only seeing on average about 2% movement from the original asking price to the final sales price, and about 4% off the original asking price to the sales price. So much less movement than a standard. As far as the absorption rate, if you guys remember what the absorption rate is, it is the number of weeks or months of inventory where if no new homes came on the market to sell, how long until all of the selection would be gone. Right now, we're hovering just about 7 months, just about 6 months on the luxury side, and that's tightened up a little bit because of all that sales activity. And then on the affordable side, that has actually loosened a little bit. And on the affordable side of the market, it's now at about 3 months. So I think is probably a better reflection of what's truly happening in the market. The affordable market is a little bit more relaxed with more equal buyer-seller kind of leverage there in negotiations and conversations. And on the luxury side of things, that's tightening up a little bit, even though we have a lot more selection on both the affordable and the luxury market. The good news there is if you are a buyer today and you're home shopping in either segment of the market, you have more homes available to choose from than any market we've had in the last 4 years. And so that's great news where you've got more selection to make good decisions. And on the affordable side, you can have a little bit more kind of one-on-one conversation and leverage. If you're on the luxury side, just be prepared. A lot of those sellers are going to hold firmer on those prices. You're going to have to concede a little bit more negotiation, but you've got more to choose from, and that's good news. So that's the update for here in April 2025. Real estate is hyper local, and it's very contextual. So your property, if you're thinking about selling your property, or if you're looking to buy a property or an investment, do reach out. We're happy to do a private, in-depth consultation with you. Go a little kind of deeper into some of these statistics, maybe some of the trends that are going to be coming up in the next few months, and create kind of a plan of action for you to take advantage of it, whether you are a seller or a buyer. Thanks so much. Until next time.